Well, it's about 7 o'clock. I've been walking through banana spider webs for about an hour now. I'm already hot and sweating. You know I'm out of shape. Working in that air conditioning shop don't want me. I got 3 cell cameras in my bag. I'm gonna go in here and probably put one on a scrape that's kind of a community scrape. I know I'm gonna get any bucks in the area. I've been flushing turkeys off the roost. But anyway, I know I'm gonna get any bucks in the area at that scrape, so I'm gonna put one there, and then I'm gonna basically hang one on each side of the bedding area, I think. I really didn't want to come in here this close to season. I think I got about 2 months here before it opens, or before I start hunting it. And I got about, I think this is about a 9-mile trek, round trip. It's supposed to start storming real bad around, I think it's supposed to get here around lunchtime. I don't think I would make it out by lunchtime, so all I brought's a GoPro. I didn't feel like taking a chance on ruining the big camera, so y'all might be stuck with not the greatest audio. My main reason for coming in ain't to hang cameras, it's to got the old machete with me. Just cleaning my access trail up a little bit. All 4 miles of it. Just the dead tree limbs and stuff from these storms that's fell out. I'm just knocking them out of my way. About 1.5 miles in, trying to take my time. This humidity is on another level. Whew. Especially when there ain't no footing out here, it's just mud. I tell you what, at 39 years old, that Superman, that big ass on my chest is starting to fade. Whew, I'm getting soft. I think I'm between the cameras and pistol and batteries, and I brought 11 waters. I'm gonna try to drink 2 an hour. I gotta be carrying 35 pounds, which ain't much, but it's humid. I normally run a camera right on that angle tree. Looking down here, I don't know if you can see it on the right there where that armadillo dug. There's that indention in the licking limb. Early season, I generally get 5, 6, 7 bucks. Right here is daylight pretty regular. We killed a couple right here, but I don't think I'm gonna hunt here opening day, and normally by about opening weekend, and by about the 3rd day of season, these bucks are pushed on off out in the swamp. So I'm not putting the camera here this year. I'm just gonna keep on going. I think I'm at like 2.5 miles now. This is one of the water holes I hunt occasionally. It probably didn't have any water in it until last night. I think it rained, or yesterday it rained like 4 inches here. But there's still a lot of tracks and stuff around it. Just walked over here to check it. There's another one up here about 1/2 mile. I'm gonna look at. This is where my son Jay shot his first little 4-point with a muzzle loader. I didn't have the camera rolling when it jumped up, but about stepped on a brand new yearling. I saw a brand new yearling at the house yesterday too. Might have to count back and see when that means they were bred, but that one right there wasn't but a few days old. This is another spot. I've ran a camera for several years that I'm not running one this year, but normally put it on that oak right there, and they make a scrape here, and they'll make a scrape there. It's kind of a trail junction. I don't get too many big bucks up here in the daylight, but a lot of times I'll get one or two of the younger big bucks. But I think I'm at the 3.55 mile mark. There was a doe laying right there on the point of that pond. That rain put down a lot of water. I just came off that edge out here in the swamp. Probably got to do about 1,500 yards to get out here where I'm gonna hang cameras. At least I'll know if me coming out here changes something. There's not too many deer live out here in the summertime, I don't think. I've hung cameras on it before early and wouldn't start getting pictures till October. I got my tracker going on Onyx, and I'm trying to stay kind of pick my way through this open so I can basically come in, access in the dark by my phone, because you can see everything out here looks identical. There's absolutely no landmarks out here. I'm getting up here pretty close. I think I got about 400 yards to go to get to where I plan on doing some gun hunting. And after hanging these cameras, I probably gonna pick me out a couple ground setups for the bow while I'm in here if I can. And then if these cameras are pinging pretty regular, I'll slip in here and hunt on the ground. It's a little after 9, so I've been walking for almost 3 hours. You can see these little real thick clumps, and I don't know how big this one is, I haven't walked in it. And then over here, I'm kind of trying to avoid them a little bit, but that's where these deer lay in here. A lot of times I can come out when it's pretty cold. I can come out here and just stand and hear them stir around, start glimpsing them every once in a while and try to make moves on them. But it's thick in here, and a lot of times they don't come out of it too much. Up here where I'm going is a pretty good opening with a gap between two of these real thick places I know they lay. Several years ago, I walked through the thick in the middle of hunting season trying to learn the place and jumped up some bucks. Came up on one of these little hills at the base of these big trees, and there's a indention from a bed right there. Probably nighttime, but it's been laid in fresh since the rain. I know I just got this GoPro so you can't see a whole lot, but you can see this thick that starts right here. That's probably a 3 to 4 acre real thick patch. I've never walked in it, but last year, opening week of General Gun, I passed a nice 8-point right over here, and then like mid-season or something, I came in and sat on this edge just trying to catch a buck with a doe, you know, hear them move on them something, and I had a real big buck running a doe around, but never where I could get a ethical shot. But I'm gonna start looking for marking setup locations now in this area, just so I have them in mind if I need to prop some lambs up or something. I think I got about 300 yards left to where I want to hang the camera. So I just showed the bed at the base of that tree right there. Rub from last year. I'll be out here to the land of the giants in a minute. When I saw the big buck, I just slipped in here that morning at daylight. I was standing right here leaned against this root ball. And I don't know if you can see the little gaps on this GoPro or not. There's a couple little gaps right there. That's where I was glimpsing them just coming through, and then they went back that way. But I know, just based on where I've had cameras in here before, I know they've got to lay right here. There was a bunch of rubs down this edge last year when I came through. I only came in here, like I said, I sat over there the one morning and then here, so I was in here 2 days last year. But all these rubs are fresh coming down this edge. There's a little pinch point I marked up here where I'm hoping to hang the camera. I'm trying to keep walking in this water as much as I can, and I know I'm not talking too loud, so I'm probably close to some bucks now. You can probably see what this stick looks like a little better now that I'm closer, but like, it's a wall. You can't walk in it. And I'm deer all in it. There's really not any big trees out there. It's just a 10-foot tall jungle and vines. I'm getting close to where I wanted to look at hanging a camera. I've been walking this edge. I don't see no beat down trail or nothing, but it almost looks like deer come and go into that thick right there. I'm gonna slip over there and look at it. There's a bunch of rubs in here. It could be hogs. I don't know, but they're definitely going in here where I thought they were. See, it goes right in that gap right there. Very possible buck throw. I can't tell. I'm gonna try to hang that camera right here somewhere where they're narrowed down. This is just a thin little strip that, like, I've been walking north, and this little thin strip cuts to the west, kind of in between two thickets. I was just looking at that trail right there. There's a big bed and a good rub. And I need to hang this camera right here somewhere. Alright, I got that first camera hung in this gap here where that rub is, or a bunch of rubs are. It's not quite as narrowing them down. They could go on the other side of this junk and walk over there and be in the open, so I don't expect to get a ton of pictures here, but I think I'll get whatever bucks living in the area I should once they start losing velvet. I should be getting them pretty regular. Anyway, on to the next. That camera is right there. I just continued on up the edge a few yards. There's another bed right there. Should get some pictures of it. That camera I just hung is right back there, about 80 yards. This is where this gap dead ends, basically. It's thick over there, thick on that side, and it kind of dead ends right here. There's one little place where I'll be able to pick my way through here to the island. So I was thinking there's deer tracks everywhere out here. I was thinking this would be a good place right here if I deer or hog or something over there in the bushes. If I'm getting him or getting some bucks on that camera I just hung, this might be one of my setups right here if I get a wind, but it'll be tight. But I think this is where they would naturally come out to and mill around in the daylight. And it's isolated. They can be gone in just a second, so I'm sure they feel comfortable right here, but there's deer tracks everywhere. I just didn't want to hang the camera right on top of it. If I got a consistent wind, I might be able to hunt this trail I'm walking. I just left the kind of where that strip dead ended, and this is that trail. I've only been through here once, but I picked my way through here to the island. Like you can see, it's so thick on both sides of me. This is just like a little 10-yard opening that goes through here. I think it's about 200 yards over here to the island, but I bet I could sit on the ground on this trail and shoot one. Pencils down good in here. You can probably see how hard this would be to access, especially in the dark. But there's old rubs all over in here. Gets a little deeper before I get to the island. I'm still being fairly quiet. I haven't heard anything run off, so they may lay there and let me walk right by them. I don't know. A couple more beds up on one of these high hills. There. I've never jumped a buck slipping through here out in the open in the daylight. Now on these little hills, I'm sure they do it occasionally, but I think most of the time this is probably just night beds or something in there, laid over in the thick stuff. I got a little farther west than I wanted to, trying to go around some thick stuff. I hadn't been through here before, but there's rubs. Every one of these little dry spots, there's a bed, and there's rubs on them. And there's no possible way I would narrow them down to a particular bed out here. But when they get to stirring, I ought to be in the right location if I can get in here and set up. I'm starting to come up on the bigger island now. All these cabbage palms. I think I'm gonna try to hang a camera on the south point where there'll be a big scrape. I put a camera there every year, and then I'm gonna see if I can hang a camera on the north end on the trail junction. Maybe get a little better pattern on these bucks. I'm kind of right on top of the island up here. Little orange trees and stuff. There's some of them big shell mounds around here. I guess from the Indians. I'm assuming that's where the orange trees come from. They're sweet oranges. some of these islands, I'll find really old glass bottles, and a lot of them are in good shape. I don't know if I would imagine being, because there's never been a road, or there's no possible way to get a road here. I would imagine it would be back like Civil War, Indian War, that time frame or something, a lot of it, where the army was out here or something. I don't know what the... Oh, that one ain't as old there, I don't guess. There's no stamps or anything on any of them. I'm going from looking for deer to looking at antiques. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and camera. Once I get down here, kind of on the south end of this island, every one of these trees basically is rubbed. There's a real big rub over there. That was time, rubbed, rubbed, rubbed. And them bucks cruise this side right, I reckon. Big rub up there. Right over here is where I normally hang camera. This is where I normally hang a camera. You can see they just about killed these limbs, and they're all broke off. And there'll be scrapes all the way around this tree every year. I think I've hunted it twice, and I'm pretty confident both times they knew I was here. Well, I got the second camera hung. She's there. There's where all the scrapes will be under that tree, so I got it 10 yards away or so. While I was waiting on it to send me a picture, it took 15 minutes to send me a picture because the service is so bad out here. But there's a couple, depending on the wind, there's a couple little setups there for the ground. And then in gun season, I just saw a deer. In gun season, the main wind's gonna be coming this way, so I could back way up there with a rifle. It should be fine, as long as that first camera I hung ain't the most active, because it's basically 300 yards on the other side of this thick is where that other camera was. Last year I had this camera set back there on that tree, and I moved it, so hopefully I get a little better direction of travel on them. But last year the biggest bucks they would come this way or come from this way and hit the scrape and then leave right through here. And then I had a camera 600 yards on down that I wasn't getting them on. The two biggest bucks, I would never get them on that camera down there, so I want to get a little better direction to travel and kind of know which side of this stick I need to be on, hopefully. And I'm gonna run down here on the north end of this island. And I was up there 3 years ago, and there was a major trail junction at going off into another bedding area. And I'm gonna, as long as that's still there, I'm gonna hang a camera on it and try to get that pattern on them, better pattern on them anyway. It's already like 11 o'clock, I think. It's supposed to start raining soon. It's nasty looking. Another thing that made me really want to focus out here around these real thick areas is I've covered, just like today, I've been out here for a little over 5 hours now walking, and I haven't found the first shed. The only sheds I do find out here most time are the little 4 points and 6 points and stuff like that. So I think the big bucks spend majority of their time in this thick where I can't walk, because as many bucks as I get on camera, it's almost impossible. It would be impossible not to find sheds. So they got to be dropping horns late in this thick where I can't walk. Still got a little ways to go, but the trails are clearly going to be here. It's just feet there. One of them got the feeling pretty spunky. That's a big old tree right there. When I was up here on this north point, I think it was 3 years ago, there was rubs, but it wasn't like it is now. So they definitely came up here last year and wore it out. They're everywhere. Hopefully I can find a place to hang this camera. I'm on the north point of the island now. The edge comes down right here, and when I just walk through here, all these trees being down, I think I'll make the deer come around this way. There's rubs everywhere out here. Some big rubs too. I'm gonna back up right there, I think, and hang this camera. I think I'm actually gonna hang it right here. I don't catch anything coming by this way, going off the north side. Should get any pictures out there. Any deer coming through the trail. Give it a whirl. There was a few deer tracks coming behind this tree, so I backed it up there to the little tree. Be hid a little better. Be able to see all this kind of open area here, so should be good. Alright, it sent me a picture, so I'm gonna start heading on out. I just measured the distance as the crow flies on Onyx from this camera to the first one I hung, which is the farthest one away. They're basically in line, but is 659 yards. So I got this one, then one at like 250 from here, and the other one 659. So hopefully we get some pictures from this camera as the crow flies back out to the edge of the swamp. Is 910 yards, and I got to zig and zag around some thick. I think my track was like 1,500 yards. I marked 6 or 8 ground setups for different wind directions. But hopefully I'll kind of get a pattern. I'll probably end up getting all them big bucks coming by here every day in the daylight now, and end up returning my quota permit. I was going to go on open weekend and be out here. Even rifle hunting, I can't. There's not many places I could shoot over 75 yards. I made it back up here to the hill edge. I'm along the way out, I'm gonna pick me up 2 evening spots to sit during archery, just in case I get a spare evening or something, get done working early and just want to run, sit real quick. I had a camera right up here, right here about 40 yards last year, but I hung it late. It was like December when I hung it, I think. These mosquitoes and yellow flies are awful. But anyway, I was getting a bunch of small bucks and the occasional 100-incher or something in the daylight. I picked 2 ground setups there and saw it was a doe bedded right here. I didn't go back through my GoPro and see what I missed, but when I got to looking at it a minute ago, it was on some crazy setting where I'd hit a button, so hopefully I hadn't lost too much. But anyway, I'm headed out. It's like 1 o'clock and my back is screaming for help. I got about an hour to the truck, I believe. I've been covering some ground. It's 2 o'clock. I got about 10 minutes. I'll be at the truck. That lightning is starting to pop. I don't know if you can tell or not, but swinging this, had the camera in one arm and the machete in the other, walking fast, and let the machete hit the camera, so I busted the whole screen on the front of it. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.